Hi everyone, let's go ahead and get started with lesson 1.3, solving linear equations part 2. So this is going to be an extension of the previous lesson, and our learning target is still that we can solve a multi-step linear equation in one variable. Okay? All right, the pages that you have in front of you in your packet is module 1.3. We're going to work together on example 1, example 2, and example 3. The ones that I'm leaving for you are check your understanding 1, check your understanding 2. Leave the exit ticket for in class. All right, let's go ahead and get started with example 1. Now, here we have a cell phone company that uses formulas to calculate how much to charge a customer for their service in terms of the number of hours X. So we have two companies. Company A uses T equals 8 plus 75 hundredths X. Company B uses T equals 3 plus 1 and 25 hundredths X. Now, how many hours will they pay the same? So what we want to know is when will these companies be the same? When will company A equal company B? So yesterday we also talked about drawing in a line right through the equal sign to help us keep balance or know what goes with company A and what goes with company B. So company A's equation is 8 plus 75 hundredths X equal to company B, which is 3 plus 1 and 25 hundredths X. Now, X represents the number of hours, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so if I had to think about it, company A charges $8 and then 75 cents per hour. Company B charges $3, but they charge $1.25 an hour. So if you could choose and you knew you were going to use it for the same amount of time so you could break even, that's what we're looking for. All right, so when I'm looking at this equation, I'm going, where is the X value? Because I want to get all the X's on one side of the equal sign. Well, I have X's on the left side of the equal sign, and I have a variable term, an X term, on the right side of the equal sign. So which one is smaller? Well, the one that is smaller is 0.75X. That's the one I'm going to move. Now, on the left side, it's a positive 0.75. So I am going to pick that up and move it to the right side. So when I move it from the left side, it goes away. On the right side, it's no longer positive, but it's negative. Okay, take that variable with it. Now we're going to rewrite our equation so that we have 8 is equal to 3 plus 0.5x. All right, now to get x by itself, I have 3 that's being added and 0.5 that's being multiplied. So I'm going to get rid of this positive 3. When I move it to the left side, it becomes negative 3. Now when I rewrite my equation, 8 minus 3 is 5 equals 0.5x. Now 0.5 times x, the opposite of multiplying would be to divide. So 5 divided by 0.5 gives me 10 is equal to x. Now remember, x is talking about the number of hours. So at what time will they pay the same? You'll pay the same at 10 hours. Okay? All right. So the cost will be the same. So since this is a word problem, we're going to go ahead and give them a word answer. All right. So that's example 1. Now I want you to pause the video, go back, and copy it down. So remember that we are working on actually watching the problem worked out and then copying down what I do after. Okay? So if you didn't do that on this one, let's go to example 2 and let's try that there. So go ahead, put your pencils down, watch what I do, and then after I do it, pause the video, and then copy down the word. Okay, in class we have calculators that multiply fractions, add fractions, subtract fractions, all that with fractions. But here, we don't have a calculator with us, or at least not all of us do. So in order to get rid of the fraction, we practice multiplying by the denominator. Well, here the denominator is 6 for one fraction, 3 for another, and 4 for another. So in a case like this, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find the common denominator. Okay? And most times I'm just going to abbreviate that. Sorry, talking and writing. I'm just going to abbreviate that with CD. So what number can 3, 4, and 6 go into? That would be 12. So our common denominator is 12. And that's what we're going to multiply by. Okay? So I'm going to multiply the left side of the equation by the common denominator. And I'm going to multiply the right side of the equation by the common denominator. So we're going to have to do some distribution here. So we're going to do 12 times 5/6 m. 12 times 5 is 60. 60 divided by 6, that gives me 10 m. Then I have 12 times 1/3. 12 times 1 is 12. Divided by 3 gives me positive 4. Now on the right side, I'm doing 12 times 2/3. 12 times 2 is 24. Divided by 3, it's going to give me 8. And don't forget that variable m that is there. 8m. And then I have 12 times negative 1/4. 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. Divided by 4 gives me negative 3. Now, the whole goal of that first step was to get rid of that denominator. And that's exactly what we did. Now we're going to go back just to solving this for the variable m. Now, when I'm starting to solve for m, I want to get rid of the smaller one. So which one's smaller, 10m or 8m? So I get rid of 8m on the right side, but I have to move it to the left side, but it is the inverse operation. So now it is a negative 8m. Whenever it jumps over that equal sign, it changes operations. That's called inverse operation. So 10m minus 8m is 2m plus 4 equals negative 3. Now to get m by itself, I'm going to get rid of the positive 4 on the right side, subtract it, get rid of it on the left side, subtract it on the right side. So then I've got 2m equals negative 7. Now 2 times m, the inverse of multiplying by 2, is dividing by 2. So our answer is m equals negative 7/2. Okay, so after you pause the video and write this down, I want you to go on to check your understanding 1 and see if you can answer those questions. All right, on check your understanding. For question A, your answer for this one is going to be G equals negative 3. And for question B, it's going to be C equals 2. Your common denominator for B is going to be 20, just in case you didn't get that. All right, now if I'm looking at tracking our progress, where should we be at this point? We should be able to solve a linear equation with one variable, including grouping, which is distribution, and a variable on both sides. We should also be able to solve a multi-step linear equation with one variable. If you're having trouble with either of those, please make sure that you talk with me about it. All right, let's go on to example 3. Now, example 3 here has fractions. It's going to have distribution, multiplication. So when we look at this one here, there are 3 ways to do this exact same problem. And I'm going to show you all 3 ways, and then you get to pick which method you like to do check your understanding too. All right, so the very first way, I've taken this very same problem and I've written it over here in this very first box. And let me label this box A. Okay. So on this one here, I have 4x equals 4/5 times 3x plus 4. Okay, so I've taken the 4/5 here and I've made it a fraction just out in front of the parentheses. Now, when I distribute this, I have 4/5 times 3x and 4/5 times positive 4. So I get 4x equals 12/5 x plus 16/5. Now, even though I might want to combine these two, I can't because 16/5 does not have an x. Without that x, they're not like terms. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take 12/5 x, move it to the opposite side of the equal sign, and I'm going to subtract it. But before I can subtract 4x and negative 12/5 x, they have to have a common denominator. So what's the common denominator going to be? Is 5. So I have to turn 4x into 20/5x minus 12/5 x. Combining those two there will give me 8/5 x, all equals 16/5. All right, now this next step. To get rid of multiplying by 8/5, I have to multiply by the inverse. So the inverse of 8/5 is 5/8. But whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Or we get rid of it on the left side and move it to the right side. Okay? So then here I've got 5 divided by 5 will cancel out. And 16 divided by 8 will give me 2. So I have x equals 2. Okay? So that method there on that one, we did distributing the fraction first. Now, on the other two methods, we're going to try something different. Okay? So be really careful on method A when we're talking about all these fractions. So let's look at option B. What can I do here? So for option B, we're going to eliminate the denominator first. So how do I get rid of dividing by 5? So instead of dividing by 5 on the right side of the equal sign, we're going to multiply by 5 on the left side. Okay, so doing the opposite or the inverse operation. So 5 times 4x, so that gives me 20x. Now on the right side, I've got to distribute 4 times 3x gives me 12x. 4 times positive 4 gives me positive 16. Now I have no fractions to worry about. Now I'm getting all the x's on the same side. Which x is smaller, 20x or 12x? Let's get rid of the smaller one. So instead of having positive 12x on the right side, I'm going to have negative 12x on the left side. I'm going to go ahead, rewrite my equation. 20x minus 12x is 8x. And on the right side, I have 16. Now I have 8 times x. So the opposite of multiplying would be dividing. So I get rid of the 8 on the left side, but I have to divide it on the right side. So I'm left with x equals 2. Same solution that I had before. This time I just got rid of the fraction up front. Now, out of A and B, which one's your favorite? Last one we're going to look at is when I distribute the coefficient first, and then after that, I eliminate the denominator. Okay? So the coefficient on this one is 4. So I'm going to distribute that first. Okay? So I'm going to do 4 times 3x and 4 times 4. So I am going to draw that imaginary line right through my equal sign just to help me keep my equation intact. So I've got 4x equals 12x plus 16 divided by 5. After I distribute that coefficient, now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the denominator. So instead of dividing by 5 on the right side, I'm going to multiply by 5 on the left side. So I will have 20x equals 12x plus 16. You'll notice here, this one looks very similar to what I had there. Okay. All right, now I want to go ahead then and get all the x's on the same side. So get rid of 12x on the right side, subtract 12x on the left side. Rewrite our equation. So I have 8x equals 16. Now, instead of multiplying by 8 on the left side, I'm going to divide by 8 on the right side, and I have x equals 2. Same solution for all three of them. Now, out of those three, which one's your favorite? A, B, or C? That's the one I want you to practice on Check Your Understanding 2. Okay? Now, when you get to Check Your Understanding 2, your answer for this one will be x equals 4. Okay? Now, if you get stuck somewhere in the process, circle it, put a question mark by it, then tell me what it is you got stuck on so we can discuss that in class. Now, for the exit ticket, we will do that in class, so you can stop after Check Your Understanding 2.